I want to talk about remembering, not in a big, dramatic History Channel way, but because every November we pin the poppy on, we pause for silence, and we listen to the last post. But somewhere between the footage of Normandy and the businesses on Twitter doing their annual Lest We Forget tweet, we forgot something really simple. Remembrance shouldn't just be about the past. It should also honour those who serve today. But in modern Britain, service is often side-eyed, underfunded, and erased. We can't fix the past, but we still have time to honour those serving now. I lived in America for a bit growing up, and over there, if you see someone in uniform, you just say it. Thank you for your service. Not in a weird, performative way, just because it's part of the culture. And we don't do that in Britain. Why doesn't being part of the system that stands up daily for us actually get the recognition it deserves? Why is gratitude something we outsource into charities or squeeze into one Sunday in November? No one really talks about the Falklands, or Afghanistan, or Kosovo, or Northern Ireland unless it's for a film, or Iraq unless people want to argue. But British soldiers were still there, still are, still stepping onto planes, still missing birthdays, still burying their friends. And sometimes I think, is it easy to forget they exist or existed at all? Modern war doesn't come with medal ceremonies made public and moustaches. It comes with hashtags, with op-ed pieces and Twitter threads and Instagram infographics. And somewhere underneath all of that mess is a real person, a young man or woman who serve to protect, to belong to something. And instead, they came home to mixed views. Why were we even there? Shouldn't we be apologising instead? And maybe all war is wrong, but the soldier didn't get to vote on it. They still left their home. They still risked their life. Still saw things that you'll never have to see. They just packed their kit and left, because that's what duty is. Do kids today even know what the Gulf War was? Or the difference between Iraq and Afghanistan? We used to teach war studies. Now, we barely teach civic studies. We teach TikTok safety, identity politics, and how not to offend anyone in a group chat, but not the history of sacrifice. We've built a culture where serving your country is taken for granted. A culture where soldiers are an afterthought, where wearing a Help for Heroes jumper makes you a target, where the people who swore to protect us feel like strangers in their own country, where loyalty is political, where uniform is side-eyed, and what should be respected and acknowledged is overlooked. Sometimes I wonder if we become so obsessed with righting our past wrongs overseas that we forget how broken things feel here. Divided communities, a fraying culture, a country that barely knows itself anymore. And I do wonder how many soldiers we've sent to fight for values we no longer live by at home. And we wonder why no one signs up anymore, why recruitment is down, why service doesn't appeal. And it's not just the person in uniform who serves, it's the family that they leave behind at the door. Because honestly, you can't defend a vibe. I've said that before in an earlier video on my channel. You can't put boots down for a country that treats its own identity like a moral liability. You can't risk your life for a flag that kind of gets treated like a personality flaw by some. You can't fight for a country that isn't even sure it's worth protecting. Would you? And yes, there is some support. There are some excellent and extraordinary charities. And there are moments of gratitude. There are people who care. But let's not pretend this country hasn't made a habit of using people in uniform, then forgetting them. You can't put boots on for a flag that's getting side-eyed by its own politicians and used for political one-upmanship. We house people who have never paid into the system and let veterans sleep rough. We offer help to those who actively work against this country's interests, while the people who served are put on waiting lists or left to suffer in silence or asked to justify their pride. It's not just wrong, it's upside down. We praise them when they're gone, but when they're home, we barely know what to do with them. And I really, really hate it. Just because someone comes back from war doesn't mean they came back the same. Because if we can't care for the people who are willing to protect us, what does that say about the rest of us? We're very good at remembering the dead, but we're not great at thanking the living. So maybe this November we do both. We wear the poppy, but we also say something to those who serve today. Thank you.